cooler, baby.
TK crabbing.
Wrapped around your finger.
Rap.
You wrapped around my finger too.
Rap.
Don't tell me that you danger.
No.
Guess what? I'm a problem too. Wrapped around your finger. You wrapped around my finger too.
Right around my face.
Don't tell me that you danger.
No.
Guess what? I'm a problem too. Guess what? I'm a problem too. Yeah. Guess what? I'm a problem too.
Guess what, little baby, I am here for real. Got you a big stepper that'll spin for real. I'm in love with your persona and your sex appeal. You'll be popping that together, that sounds so ideal. Let's ride to the cash, you can swing the wheel. I got plays on my line, you can help me flip. Thumbing through the cash, kind of all the chips. When we on the airlines, only time we chill. Got you wrapped around my finger like my diamond ring. Elevate you for real, show you the finer things. How you in it for real, cause you on my team. Got me feeling like Biggie, it was all a dream.
Wrapped around your finger.
Rap.
You wrapped around my finger too.
Rap.
Don't tell me that you danger.
No.
Guess what? I'm a problem too.
No.
Wrapped around your finger.
Rap.
You wrapped around my finger too.
Right around my face.
Don't tell me that you danger.
No.
Guess what? I'm a problem too. Guess what? I'm a problem too. Yeah. Guess what? I'm a problem too. Guess what? I'm a problem too.
Got the keys, hey, I wish death wasn't a guarantee. I wonder why God take my people and them and never me. Now I'm the one that could have been, but it'll never be. Cause you left before your time and now I'll never see that look up on your face to see your nigga made it. You extra good cause you was there when shit got escalated. Your exit lately got me questioning mortality, alternate realities and basic principalities. Man, everybody wasn't raised like us. Everybody ain't from that mud and seen them days like us. But I stopped letting that bullshit surprise me. These niggas and these bitches let that hate hypnotize me.
Wonder why these niggas be made like this, I wish. Wonder who made you bitches be scandalous, I wish. Wonder raise you niggas to be made like this, I wish. Wonder why these hoes so scandalous, I wish. Just slide through the 3, thought I'd see what's up. Gotta watch these niggas cause these days they switching up. My mama used to tell me everybody ain't your friend. The niggas pulling snake shit for innocent things. Thank God on the daily it made me a better man. Now I'm riding dolo just me and no Benjamin. Lost everything I had and I still didn't fold. No matter what you do to prepare this world climb. Mama used to say that it be days like this, but who would ever think niggas be fake like this? Who would ever think niggas would hate like this? Wanna raise you niggas to be made like this. Why these niggas be made like this, I wish. Wonder who made you bitches be scandalous, I wish. Wanna raise you niggas to be made like this, I wish. Wonder why these hoes so scandalous, I wish.
I wonder why these niggas got bitch up in their body. Why they bitch about my profit, make me wanna catch a body. I say wonder why these bitches got hate in their blood. Wonder why they wanna fall in love instead of fuck. I say wonder why these niggas wanna hate. Knowing many people out and fed on my plate. I got niggas in the feds in the state. If you only knew the chances I take, they got me on the front line with my life. This job ain't heavy cause this beef I don't take light. All the fake shit don't understand just why. I've been a stone down real nigga all my life.
Wonder why these niggas be made like this, I wish. Wonder who made you bitches be scandalous, I wish.
Say, life ain't certain, young bull, so choose your path. Niggas dying every day, how about you do the math? I'm hearing love this, nigga, love that. What's love when it's broken, nigga? Check your stats. I really got it out the mud by all means. I'm a real hustler, homie. Big dreams. Niggas talking tough clicks, so I peep the scene. Sped the block twice, 30 shots, murder scene. Never knew this the life that I chose, but the demon of my soul will leave your body cold, nigga. And that's on gang. I'ma really stand on business and that never gon' change. I wish.
Wonder why these niggas be made like this. I wish. Wonder why these hoes so scandalous. I wish. Wonder why these hoes so scandalous. I wish. Mama used to say that if he days like this, like this, like this, like this. Mama used to say that if he days like this, like this, like this.
Get this thing right. Yeah, I had to go a little early, man. Like my mind been kind of like before I even get into what I want to talk about tonight. But I don't know if it's just me. I don't know what it is or anybody else goes through that. But it'd be like some days you be so like optimistic. You have a vision. You see progress. Whatever it is you're doing in life, you know what I'm saying. Then it'd be those days to where it's like you just get so frustrated, you know what I mean? And it hits you suddenly, your whole day not like that. It's just something and it hits you suddenly, you know what I mean? So I just hit one of those modes. So I was like, man, let me go ahead and do this live, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I think we all have some type of mental health issues in this country. Salute, Miss Tammy. Salute, Joe So Blessed. Thanks for being here. King ALX, Pooh Black. Yeah, I think we all have some type of, you know what I mean? Well, we live under enough stress, man, to where, I guess it's to be expected. You know what I mean? But it's just one of them days, man. One of them days. So I want to get this live in. So I started a little bit early. I played a couple songs, man, from partner of mine, T Cools, man. He got good music, you know what I mean? Played this rap song he got with TK Travis. Then his song called I Wish, the remix, man. A bunch of partners out of the 903 in North Texas, man, Sherman, Denison area, man. Showing them a little bit of love, What I wanted to talk about was, I don't know. Let me say this, and I've had, some of my family, mainly my kids, telling me or whatever, like, you too consumed, you know what I mean? But I have this addictive personality, you know what I'm saying? That's why I can't do drugs, you know what I'm saying? Like, because once I do something, I do it, you know what I mean? There's no in between, so that's why I avoid things that's why I try to avoid confrontations, you know what I'm saying? It's just my personality. Once I'm engaged, I'm trying to go all the way out. You understand what I'm saying? So, and like with what's going on in society and what I see based off of, experience, knowledge, history, all these things, man, I be engaged to where it basically consumes me, so, and I don't know how to take a break, every single day I'm thinking of, what direction we're going, what can we do, what should we be doing, and I'd be very, very concerned, not to the extent of salute Texas 713. I can't even get on my phone. I don't know why this YouTube is not letting me salute people and everything in the chat from my phone. But yeah, when I think about just the different things that's going on, man, like it's hard for me to take a break from it. I dream about it, all these things, man. And sometimes I guess you can love a people or a person more than they love themselves, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's not very healthy when it begins to weigh on you. You know what I mean? Salute, Cleveland's grave digger. Appreciate you for being here. Salute, 88. About time. God damn, you'll tap in for a couple minutes and I don't hear from you no more. It's all good, though. I appreciate you for being here for that. Yeah. So So I figure I'm gonna do this live, man. Then I'm gonna kind of like not give my brain a break, man, but sit back and analyze things and maybe take a few days off from. But it's just hard. It's the reality that we living in. Salute, be pressure. It's just the reality that we're living in, to where like you can't escape it. No matter, only way you can escape it is by trying to do something and take you out of the reality. You know what I mean? Like people use drugs or drink alcohol or whatever it is. You know what I mean? And I don't go that route. So it's like I have to live with this reality. I can't not see what I see, or not hear what I hear, or not understand what I understand. You know what I mean? So it's difficult just to try to escape reality. But anyway, I'm getting to what I want to talk about. As you can see, it's entitled the Great Exodus is a time for African Americans and friends to consider mass migration. You know what I mean? And I asked that question. I posted on Facebook as well. And a few people were like, nope and no and or whatever. But, I wanted them to, tap in and Joe So Blessed says it does. Let me see. It does become consuming and overwhelming. You have to have a mental break sometimes. Yeah, for real. Like it's almost like, being incarcerated. There's no way out of the incarceration. You're still gonna be there. You can read or whatever, but physically you're still gonna be there. And also, it almost feels like that type of pressure. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, a lot of people were like, no, things of that nature that is. If they paid attention, I say, is it time for African Americans and friends to consider mass migration? You know what I mean? I didn't say, migrate, anything of that nature, even if I think that we should. I say even just consider. But most people were like, no. And, to me, that's saying that, like, okay, salute, Danila. That's like you're not fully aware of what's going on, or you're not paying attention, or you don't understand it, or it hasn't been broken down for you. You know what I mean? Appreciate you, Stormy. So to not even consider it, to me is like, wow, man, what am I doing wrong? Am I not, am I over exaggerating? But I don't think I'm over exaggerating. You know what I'm saying? Because the things I pay attention to on a daily basis, they're relevant. They're happening. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not making these things up, but because I can put them together, you know what I mean? And I can articulate what I see or whatever, that doesn't make me wrong, or that doesn't make those things go away. That just makes me understand that you haven't quite gotten there yet. And I understand that. There's an old saying that when a student is ready, the teacher will appear. Basically, you know what I mean? Because a person can teach, share, but you ain't gonna grasp it until you're ready. You understand what I'm saying? So, it may be a week from now, a month from now, a couple months from now, maybe you'll start seeing some of these things that I've been talking about. And that gives me some type of comfort in knowing that, okay, I gotta keep pushing, keep trying to put it out there, keep trying to share it. So and with that in mind, that's why, I'm gonna continue to do what I do. But yeah, my answer to that question is I do think that it's time to consider mass migration, or at least have the conversation. You know what I mean? Or at least talk about it to family members. Hey, what you think about this based off of this, that, and another, your friends, co-workers, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, I think it has to at least be considered, because when you look at this society and what I'm seeing, the foundation, is basically being ripped apart. I talk about this all the time, the Constitution. When you look at the three branches of government, your judicial, your legislative, your executive, it's like I don't see anyone in there that's truly trying to uphold what they took an oath to uphold. For example, I was looking at something today, and the courts have been going. I can't say that the courts have been a little surprising. They have been trying to push back because they understand and they can see. But I saw something today, man, that was like, wow, So I'm gonna play this quick little video and then I explain.
have authority over the federal courts, as you know. We can eliminate an entire district court. We have power funding over the courts and all these other things. But desperate times call for desperate measures, and Congress is going to act. We do have authority over the federal courts, as you know. We can eliminate an entire district court. We have power funding over the courts and all these other things. But desperate times call for desperate measures, and Congress is going to act.
So this is a congressman here, a Republican congressman out of Louisiana, and he was answering that based off of the courts haven't been approving things that Trump has been doing or whatever. And he spoke out about the power that Congress has over, federal district courts. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, wow. To the extent that now, if the courts, which is a separate branch of government, don't agree with the president, you have Congress talking about not funding the courts. You understand what I'm saying? Totally breaking down the judicial branch of this country, and that's very disturbing to me, because you have the legislative branch, which he's a part of. You have the Senate and you have the Congress, which he's a part of. They control it. The MAGA, the Republicans seem like they're all one now. So they have that branch of the government, salute the beef sector. You got the president, of course, we know that. The executive branch, we know that. So now, if the judicial branch don't go along with what they want done or how they want it done, they're talking about, basically not funding the judicial branch of the government. You know what I'm saying? And that's very disturbing to me, man, because there's no separation of powers. They want all the power centered in one place. So to me, that's a sign of at least consideration, man, that, we're changing drastically. We're changing every single day. You know what I mean? So we have to at least consider it. We have to have that conversation of how long is it before it totally collapsed, when it all is just one. Do I want to be here? You know what I mean? When that takes place. And people always like I said, people have been telling me no, but nobody tells me why did they say no. Now I have heard that my people helped build this country and and all. Okay, but what does that mean? I'm supposed to be loyal to a piece of soil because my people came here or brought here or whatever and helped build it, their blood and sweat and all these type of things. So I'm supposed to be loyal to it when I see that, okay, the things that are taking place now is not what my people went through all that struggle for, envisioned for me or my grandkids. You understand what I'm saying? I shared with you yesterday how, they're cutting the funding back with grants and all these things through the National Institute of Health, and how that is basically Doge has come in and they've taken over the 1964 Civil Rights Act. I showed that yesterday. So it's just crazy to me, man. I don't get it why people say. Matter of fact, let me see. Is this the one right here? Simple things like this is why I don't get it. Like, we've seen all the DEI stuff. Let me share this screen real quick. Share screen. Here we go. We see all the DEI stuff, cutting back on that. You see even changes in people's attitudes and things. You know what I mean? Like, can y'all see that screen? Like, even changes in people's attitude, but just small things like this, you ask, like, why? Like, why? You know what I mean? And speaking from, being a black man or African-American, whatever you want to label in this country, is like, why these type of things? Trump cuts federal grants to Plantation Museum focused on reality of slavery. Whitney Plantation has 2 grants for Black history and culture terminated in furtherance of president's agenda. The Institute of Museums Library Services has terminated 2 grants for Black history and culture. that were awarded to the Whitney plantation, a former plantation in Louisiana that focuses on the truths of slavery and the experiences of people who were enslaved. IMLS provides resources and support to libraries, archives, museums in all 50 states and territories. Determination comes as the Trump administration has both gutted federal funding aimed at arts and cultural institutions and has pushed to end state and federal initiatives in support of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Recently, federal web pages that included references to thousands of figures included Harriet Tubman, indigenous code talkers, the U.S. Army Major General Charles Calvin Rogers, were either removed outright or scrubbed to exclude references to the aforementioned people. After public outcry, some of these pages were restored. Then it goes on, talks more about the executive order that Trump gave, a few months ago and all this other stuff. But to me, it's like things like that are indicators, man, you know what I mean? Or indicative of the direction that this country is going. Like you are wiping out people like Harriet Tubman and other people that African-American people that have contributed to this country. You know, it's like you don't want us mentioned at all. You understand what I'm saying? You don't want to fund anything that's going to teach about, our history in this country. Like, so things like that is, they indicate to me that, it may be time to be having this type of conversation, because if you don't want these people that have passed away that contributed to this society, that are African-American or Black or whatever, if you don't want them to even be mentioned or shown or taught or whatever, then you damn sure don't want the people that look like them or that are descendants of them here. And if you do want them here, for what reason? You want them here having no knowledge of any type or no connection to their history or understanding their history or whatever. Why do you want us here? That's my question. Why do they want us here? Because it's obvious they don't want anything referring to us, our history, our people, or anything. Why do you want us here? What is the plan? What is the bigger picture? So this is why I asked the question, like, is it time for African Americans and friends? You have, all throughout history, you've had sympathizers, there was other ethnic groups or races, whatever you want to call it, that don't like it. And, they may want to go too, but it's worth having the conversation and considering it. I definitely think it is, so those things like that kind of like, I don't know, man, it just stands out to me, and it's not like there's not a president, like these thoughts have happened before. I mean, we can go all the way back to, what was his name? Paul Kufi, you know what I'm saying? Like when he started trying to get people and he had the money and everything and trying to get people to get up out of here, you know what I'm saying? So there's a history here, like how Liberia was started, you know what I'm saying? Like it's exactly how Liberia started, ex-slaves or whatever, hey, they got the opportunity. It may not have been a lot of them, but got the opportunity and they went over to Africa. And hey, and I'm not saying Africa is the place to go. What I'm saying is, they seem like to them, like, I don't want to get caught back up going back into no slavery. So I got a chance to get off this land and, I got to get off of here. You know what I'm saying? B Precious said, I can't afford to take my whole family. I'll have to stay and help them fight. And I'm not knocking that, I'm not even saying I would, because of course I would want to get my family, gone first before I try to make a move. But what I'm saying is when you have, when you think about mass migration, you have to have a plan. You understand what I'm saying? You have to have a plan, a very well structured plan, however many people or whatever it is, far as a pre-migration, logistical arrangements, things to consider like the social economic considerations, safety and security, and then you have to get cooperation from different governments or international, cooperation, so there's a lot that would go into something like that. But if you're looking at, like I said, if you're looking at the things that are taking place right now, it's like we have to think on that level at least. Like if it only takes up just a small percentage of your thoughts sometimes, just pay attention to what's going on. And you have to question like man, what type of time these people on? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not over exaggerating. I see people all the time complaining about how bad customer service is now. You know what I'm saying? Or how they was treated at a restaurant, or, you know, all these old type of things. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's been a shift, man, in energy in this country. And I'm not over exaggerating. I deal with this, I deal with it daily. You know what I mean? Some of you may have as well. Or just, you know, just don't, you know, acknowledge it or just blow it off or whatever, because you don't want to get angry or get in some drama or whatever. You just blow it off. But there hasn't been a shift in energy, man. You know, and for example, we see what Jake Lang is doing. We just talked about that over and over this past weekend, protesting against Carmelo. And I'm telling you, these people are all over this country. This is the madness that they are spewing out of their mouths. You know, it's bigger than Carmelo. You know what I mean? It's not about Carmelo anymore. It's about, particularly the black man is a threat to society, man. You understand what I'm saying? So this thing is more about the black men than anything, man. Because if we have to lead, and we're the ones that's under the most pressure right now, dealing with the society in the direction that it's going. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm a black man, you know, I'm kind of like thinking like, well, man, maybe I need to, you know, look into this stuff, pay more attention what these people are doing. Why they trying to keep us distracted. And I say this every night, they're keeping us distracted with these social issues and racial antagonism and all this type of stuff, man. But the executive orders, they haven't stopped. You know what I mean? The removing of money that would normally be going to minorities and the underserved, you know, those things have stopped. You know, this is a lot that's really, really going on, man, that we're not paying attention to, because half of the country right now, social media and everything, we caught up in what's going on with Carmelo Anthony. You know what I mean? And even on a local level, we may be caught up in what, you know, latest rapper is doing this or doing that, all, you know, all over. But we're not paying attention to what they're doing. But Pooh Black said it seems like he wanted to wipe out the history so that the future kids won't know anything about. Exactly. And what are the intentions for the future kids, man? You know, my you know, I got a lot of young grandkids here, man. What are their intentions, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just crazy, man. You know, you want to wipe out the history, don't want them to know anything. Then at the same time, each state is being given control over the education system. So they go into these, you know, we have talked about it before, voucher systems where it may make it difficult for some kids to even afford to go to these schools to get the better education. But when they do, they're not going to be in the history books or anything of that nature. So you really going to create a generation of uneducated, you know, just laborers, man. You know what I mean? You're going to have a class structure. We already exist in the class structure as far as economically, but you're going to have a class structure based off of race, man. You know what I mean? A bunch of uneducated black kids or minority kids that don't know anything, can't even excel to, you know, aspire to be anything higher in this society beyond what they allot your life to be. You know what I'm saying? To fill in these voids of laborers in the fields and all of these, you know, other type of jobs. That's not far-fetched, man. That's not far-fetched at all, man. You understand what I'm saying? Like, and it bothers me. Salute Tim House, salute Boss Lady. It bothers me that we, I don't know, how can I say it? I won't say it bothers me. It's very disturbing that we aren't aware how history is just playing itself out before our very eyes. You understand what I'm saying? History is playing itself out before our very eyes. You know, like, it's crazy, man. Like, you know what I mean? You hear stories about this is what they did in Germany, this, that, and another, but people telling you now, hey, man, this shit look just like that. And we won't say, man, you know what? Instead of me watching this movie tonight or whatever, I'm going to sit back and watch a documentary on how did Hitler come to power and what unfolded when he came to power. You know what I mean? How did he turn the people that were all there at one time, getting along, doing their thing, had a good economy, all this? How did he turn them against each other? And you're going to see the very same blueprint being played out right here in the United States of America right now. The very same blueprint. But if you don't go look at it, you'll never know. You know what I mean? You'll never know. Yeah. Real vibe, history repeating itself. You just say they don't care. Man, I mean, they would care if they knew. You understand what I'm saying? Salute, Miss B. Salute, Pops. They didn't want to spell your name wrong, so why I said Papa 88. Oh, okay. That's cool. But yeah, you know what I mean? Like, people just don't know, and it just doesn't interest them, these type of conversations, you know, but I mean, they have to be had, you know what I'm saying? And like I was saying, you know, what comes along with this whole idea of looking at it, and what I've been thinking about, you know, Holy Pop said, white kids stabbed a bully yesterday. No one's talking about it. West Patton. Yeah, for sure. I sent it to 88. I sent it to 88. Yeah, you know, but these are things like even those things right there, you know, we understand how the media work. You know what I mean? We understand that. We understand how the judicial system is work, how it works. You know, we understand it. We understand how law enforcement work when it comes to Black people. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. We understand it so much, but we're willing to suffer. We're willing to go through it, because majority of the people that I asked about this right here, is it time for African Americans and friends to consider mass migration? Everybody was like, no, nope. What's holding you here? If everything you say is, you know, man, they racist, and you know, they we can't catch a break, and the judicial system's against Black people, and all these different things, the educational system, you know, we live majority in poverty, we get more time when we commit crimes, and you know, if all these things are stacked against you to the extent to where you wouldn't even consider leaving, though, that doesn't make sense to me. And I've said this before, it's like being in an abusive relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it just don't make sense. It's like being in an abusive relationship. A woman complain, or a dude, he can be in the one too, complain to his friends and his family or whatever, but then they be like, look, it's time for you to leave him. No, I can't leave. Like, what the hell? So what you telling me for? You know what I'm saying? What are you talking about it for? You know what I mean? Like, okay, salute, Queen. Yeah, what are you talking about it for? What are you complaining for? What are you protesting for? You know what I'm saying? Like, let's get off the madness and just accept your fate. You know, so, but anyway, and something caught my attention, and even with all the things that are going on, I can remember reading, you know, different books and things, you know, about Malcolm X, you know what I'm saying? And one book I read one time, I think it was about his speech, The Ballad or the Bullet. He gave a speech in 1964, I believe, like around April in 1964. And after Malcolm had kind of like left the nation, Malcolm had talked about, you know, everybody was trying to get the civil rights and all of that. But Malcolm was of the opinion that, look, like civil rights would only give the government more power, you know, dictatorial power, you know what I'm saying? And it wouldn't solve the race problem. You know, that was Malcolm's mindset. You know what I'm saying? And when we look at it, we see that coming back around now. Why? Because the civil rights are being taken away now. You see what I'm saying? The civil rights are being taken away. You know, Malcolm was like, we need to expand that struggle, you know, this whole struggle of freedom or whatever, from just the level of civil rights into human rights. You know what I'm saying? Make it broader, make it global, you know. So I can kind of see that he was ahead of his time then, because now we look at what, 64, what is this, 60 years ago? You know, 60 years ago, these civil rights come in, you know, now 60 years later, these civil rights are being stripped away. And we're close, we're on the brink of being back to like it was pre-civil rights, you know, human rights not being respected. So I kind of see what Malcolm was saying, man. And it surely played out the way that he expected it to play out, you know. And that's a thing about even with the nation. Then they were big on segregation, not necessarily just racial segregation, you know what I'm saying, but segregation for self-determination, regardless of who you segregated from, that type of thing. So I understood that as well. But I think that we've gotten beyond that, because even that type of thinking, you know, that type of thinking, it was more or less assuming that this country would stay the republic that it was, you know what I mean, a democratic republic, or whatever you want to say, like it was. This shift that we're going through now, a segregation won't work. You know what I'm saying? And we're too intertwined. We got family, loved ones, relationships, and all. You know, that type of thinking won't work in 2025 and moving forward. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if you want to have these loved ones, or these, you know, your family or your relationships or whatever, I think that a mass migration may need to be considered. Because when you go look at the history, of Germany, when Hitler and them came in power, and he started painting the Jews as being the enemy. It wasn't just Jews; it was blacks, gypsy, gay, whatever it was. You understand what I'm saying? He basically gave those that they call Jew lovers or whatever a chance or opportunity. You're either going to join with us, or your fate is going to be like this type thing. You see what I'm saying? And this is what, you know, the direction. I'm not over exaggerating. I'm not fear mongering or anything. I'm saying, look like the direction that we're going. People that you know, friends and family that may be considered quote unquote white in this country, may be faced with that decision down the line. You know what I'm saying? Like, so this is why I say a mass migration by African Americans and friends maybe need to be considered. I'm not saying it has to be done. I'm just saying, is it a conversation that need to go on in households? You know what I'm saying? But that's just something that we have to really, really look at, you know. And like I say, it's not like this hasn't been done before. When we look at, you know, even Marcus Garvey tried. You know, you always had some blacks or African Americans that wanted to hold on, and nah. So eventually they trumped some charges up on him, end up deporting him back to Jamaica, I believe it was. You know, and then you even had, like I said, the nation. The nation would go and they would meet with the Nazi party and the Aryans and all that type of stuff, trying to figure out a solution. Because for some reason, it's not us. It's just a segment of this society that just don't want to get along, man. You know what I mean? And these people are rising to the top now. You know, they used to have to be low key, not speak on things. You know, that was like some rules. You know, you could lose your job if you came out and said this or said that or did another. Now with this president peeling back all of that, they can come out and do and say what they want to, feel like they want to feel. And I think that places us in great jeopardy. It places a lot of us in great danger. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I think the conversation has to be had about a mass migration. You know, I had a bunch of things I wanted to show and all of that, but like I said, it's one of them nights where, you know, my head kind of bothered me. So I'm not going to even stay long. So I'm not even going to show all those things. But yeah, we got to have the conversation. Salute, Miss Tammy.
Salute, Farago. I feel you, and I want to encourage you to keep going, because I was in the post office today processing my paperwork. As I'm standing in line, I counted her stamping 20 applications for visas. And when it was time for me to go get my interview for my passports, I mean, yeah, she was processing the passport. I didn't mean to say visas. She took me back there, and I'm talking to the lady, and I was like, y'all got to be getting a lot of these. She said, you wouldn't imagine. She said, we process over 300 to 400 applications a day for people getting passports.
Wow.
And it just not started. They said it started when he was elected.
And
So
you ain't
this,
making this up, are you, Miss Time? Because they gonna think
no,
she
I
just
promise you.
yeah.
I
I
promise you.
already know it. I already
I
know it.
promise you. This lady told me she been had her. She just got her mother's. Her mother's 82 years old. She said, "You're not leaving me." Y'all can go to YouTube and just Google, put it in search. U.S. citizens living in these foreign countries. Why they living there? Why are look it up for the pros and the cons. I think this is a lot of the reason why our people are really scared to take that step, Farago, because we hear so much bad stuff and they show the bad part. You know what I'm saying? To discourage us from leaving this place. But the people, from what I experienced today, that is not true. In fact, that lady, I seen the stacks myself with my eyes. The time that I'm standing in line to go do my interview. I seen that lady sit there and I counted them, 20 of them. Lady said they process 300 to 400 a day. It was some Mexican lady and her children was up in there getting their papers done. I'm looking at, I was like, them babies on them pictures, on them papers. Yes, they getting out of here. Why? We all know why. It's nothing. I mean, really, our hands is tied.
And that's why I spoke about not just individuals. I spoke about mass migration, which takes strategic planning, takes somebody finding a destination where the climate is right, or they got an infrastructure, nice infrastructure, economic system, government, all these type of things. Then presenting it. You know what I'm saying? Figuring out ways of the transportation to get people to the central point of meeting to where be leaving from, whether it's by boat or whether it's by plane. You know what I'm saying? Like all these type of things. It's not nothing that could just happen overnight, but you at least would have people saying that shit, man. Look, I'm with it. Like, do what we have to do, you know what I'm saying, to lay it out. You would have to maybe send a envoy over to whatever destination that you find out about and see, what could be worked out to where, okay, they wouldn't accept these citizens. And we ain't just talking about anybody. If you look at it, we got a lot of skilled people. We got doctors, scientists, you know what I'm saying? Just people in tech, finance, people with a lot of skills that can contribute to a country that needs this. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Just trying to get away or nothing like that. I'm talking about actually that can contribute to the elevation of a country. You know what I'm saying? So
yep. It's hard. It's hard for us to live off of an income of $2,000 to $3,000 a month. But these people, I watched a guy on YouTube that went to Thailand, and that's where he's at. He making $4,000. He said he living like a king, and he ain't one of us. He one of them. And you believe it or not, I did ask if I could ask her this question. Is there more of us? She said it's equal. It was a young lady that was in line before me, Farago. Looked like, okay, this is where I'm going to stay at, and I ain't going nowhere. She up in there because she didn't send her birth certificate with hers. This kid looked like she about probably 25, 26 years old. Trying to figure out where's her passport. What's wrong? Couldn't find out she didn't send her birth certificate with it.
Yeah.
It's real. It is real. I saw it today with my own eyes. I really saw it with my own eyes today.
And Kevin said they have experimented on African diseases, ethnic bioweapons. Hitler ain't got nothing on Bill Gates, Dr. Fauci, and their honorary white Chinese collaborators. Facts, bro. For real. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is even worse. So I just believe there's a diabolical plan here, man. But you know, sometimes just listening to other people and see the lack of concern it makes me feel like, man, you might be just tripping. Maybe you need to chill, whatever. But I can't understand what I understand. Like, I just can't do it. I can't just ignore it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and be like a sitting duck, and you know, nah, I just can't do it. But
so you know what, Farago? My thought is this right here. He see the mass amount of people that is applying to get their credentials to get up out of here. When do you think he gonna put a stop to it? When he see that, if he wouldn't have stopped everything else,
it probably just ain't enough of us yet. You know what I'm saying? Because when you
that makes sense right there.
It ain't enough of us yet.
That's right.
When you look at, they actually done sent. I talked about that on a couple of lives back. Sent letters out to people, man, and you know, telling them they need to leave. They need to leave on their own. And these were immigration lawyers and things, white immigration lawyers. One lady, I think she was some type of doctor or something. You know what I mean? They told them, look, y'all need to go on and get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Because those were the people that were helping the minority people and people like, you know what I mean? So they was telling them they need to get out of here. But it ain't enough of us yet that's considering or even having a conversation about, you know, trying to make a mass migration, you know. And then I've heard people say, you know, we the children of Israel over here and all that. Okay, well, what did Moses do, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, what did they do? So, like, if you believe that, then you should be out here. You should recognize what's going on and be telling people, hey, it may be time for that great migration, that great exodus. You know what I'm saying?
Rago, let me give you one even better. When I pull up to the post office, why they got a big old banner up here? Apply for your passport right here. They warning us. They don't put the time out to make a banner.
That's something you never see. I ain't never seen that.
I'm gonna take a picture of it tomorrow and send it to you. I'm gonna go up there tomorrow, take a picture of it, show it to you.
I ain't never seen nothing like that. All my days here, man. Never.
A big old banner in the front of the post office on the lawn. Apply for a passport here.
Oh man. Well, like I say, we at least got to have the conversations with the people that do, you know what I mean? But somebody gonna have to put in the groundwork, the research, and all these other things. And man.
Yeah, I mean that to me, that's just like when I seen some shit like that, that's just like going and voting for the first black president. You know what I'm saying? Just like that. That's massive. We all know you can go to the post office and apply for your passport, but a big ass banner.
They want to direct people where the traffic go because there's been so many. Oh yeah, mercy, man.
Airport. That lady said she taking her job and go to Thailand.
Wow.
With her 82-year-old mother. Well, that's what I want to come up here and let my people know. Y'all, it's real.
Well, I appreciate you.
And I will take a picture of it, show it to you. People think it's just me just saying something. I'll take a picture of it, show you that, and then we gonna see fat meat is greasy.
You're right. Appreciate you.
All right, baby. Well, I'm gonna get off of here. I got some more stuff I gotta do. I always want to come in and show me my support, and then you know, hey, it's real, man. I bet you they got one at that big post office in Dallas.
Whenever I go through, I sure will be looking now. See, you can put something on your mind.
Okay. I'm gonna send it to you. Okay, baby. I'm gone.
Yeah, but basically, like I said, I'm not gonna stay on here long, you know what I mean? But that's something that you need to be having this conversation with family, friends, white, black, or whatever, man. Like, to start paying attention to what's going on. You know, take you some time and look at a documentary on YouTube about the rise of Hitler and how things evolved in that country to get to the level of where it did, where, you know, people were being, you know, sent to concentration camps and gas chambers and all this type of stuff. And for some reason, we just don't believe these type of things can happen in the United States. But like Kevin said, man, look, these people, Hitler ain't got nothing on Bill Gates. And Bill Gates, it's documented what he said. He feel like, the world is overpopulated. You know what I'm saying? And, now they're saying that Dr. Fauci was, took part in the whole COVID thing that, we went through in 2020, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I ain't even take the vaccine. Like, shit, nah, I ain't do none of that type of shit. But it is what it is. This was just something to put on your mind. Like I said, I didn't really go through the things I wanted to go through because I'm tired. I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm tired. So I'm gonna get off of here. I'm gonna give me some rest. I appreciate everybody that tapped in tonight. Just have the conversation. If nothing else, just look into what I've said, what she said, and what many people are saying. Like, it's all over. I pay attention to Midas Touch. Them guys, they be on it. They passed Joe Rogan up because so many Americans are looking at it, but it's not a lot of, I want to say black people that are paying attention to the things that they're talking about. You know what I'm saying? So tap into Midas Touch. I ain't saying nothing that ain't being said, but they don't just break it down to, okay, what we should do far as black people or African Americans in this country. And I'm of the opinion that, if you can't go individually, get your passport, visa and all of that, and you really, really like need somebody to help you with these things, I'm of the opinion that some type of, movement should be done that's considering mass migration, and that don't mean you have to stop focusing on the local things that are going on, like things that I'm talking about, truth to the youth, because we need to save them and stop them, so they don't already be behind walls or whatever if a move is made. Because once you get behind those walls, them barbed wire fences or whatever, it's over with. You know what I'm saying? It's over with. So, and then, people, they can get snatched up for just even talking like this. You know what I'm saying? Salute, Lil D. Appreciate you. Just talking like this. So I've accepted my fate or my role or whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? Because, it is what it is. But I just want people to be aware, have these conversations with their family or whatever, man. Because what I see is just identical to what took place in the 1930s and 40s in another land, and that's, when those scientists and things ran from that, came to the United States, that's what pushed this country ahead of the world, as far as, nuclear bombs and all this other type of stuff. And now our scientists here in the United States, they're running to France and other places. They calling it a brain drain. Just look it up, a brain drain. A lot of them are leaving. People that work for the government, that in science and these different departments in the government, they are leaving this country. The people that got fired by those, they are leaving, man. You know what I'm saying? So there's a reason why these people are leaving. The writing is on the wall. You know what I mean? So we have to pay attention to all of that, man. So with that being said, I'm gonna get out of here. Again, I appreciate every single individual. Like, I'm not, like, my subscribers have gone up like 570 some people. I appreciate everybody that subscribed or whatever, but do not be deceived. I ain't in it for the money. You know what I mean? Even though I need the money, I'm not in it for the money. You understand what I'm saying? I'm in it to get this information out here, share my thoughts. People can agree or disagree or whatever, but at least something is put on your mind. So until the next time, man, I love each and every one of y'all. Y'all be safe. Keep your head on the swivel. You know what I mean? Because it's something diabolical going on right now. Peace.
If I die tonight, I did my thing. I live through these flows and these pictures when I post, cause who knows? If I die tonight, I did my thing. I live like a G and I pray constantly, watch me please. I might die tonight, I do my thing. I rip and run these streets and I deal with these freaks. Hey, if I die tonight, I did my thing. Next might be my turn, but you live and you learn. If I die tonight, I did my thing. God for my blessings. I thank God for my struggle. These bills gon' keep on coming, so I thank God for my hustle, man. I thank God for my daughter. Lord knows I love that smile. So I don't deal with these niggas till they got bread to feed my child. And some of my partners say that I'm changing, but I'm that same old Frost. The difference is I got mouths to feed, so I just can't take no loss. And nowadays it get hectic, wars and rumors of wars. So if I die tonight, I just pray the Lord let me through them doors. Cause real talk, I be on it. No sleep till I reach my peak. My people don't eat till I hit these streets. Real niggas get reached when I'm on these beats and I'm on these sweets. And I'm on it, cause I be so tired of all of this stress. Sometimes I ride and picture my death and think if I've strived to be at my best. Cause that's what's left, that's what's left. Your legacy, not your life. So you can't tell me it's not my right to get on this mic and show you my light. Oh, that's too bright? That's too bright. Well, I don't need fortune, I don't need fame. Long as I die and you know my name, then if I die tonight, I did my thing. I live through these flows and these pictures when I post. Cause who knows? If I die tonight, I did my thing. I live like a G and I pray constantly. Watch me please. I might die tonight, I do my thing. I rip and run these streets and I deal with these freaks, If I die tonight, I did my thing. Next might be my turn, but you live and you learn. If I die tonight, I did my thing. I thank God for my failures. I thank God for success. I thank God for my job and this asshole to cut checks. I ask God to work on my patience. I got a bunch of not yets, so I just grind and I brace for the time and the place. I can show him that the nigga got next. Yeah, these niggas just dream. Me, I got this vision. No politics and religion, cause a bunch of gaps need bridging. They say rap need fixing. I never been the mechanic type, but I do know when the power goes out, you can shine with a little bit of candlelight. I can show you how to handle life. You can get it if I got it to give. Real talk, either chase your dreams or work for somebody that did. And never lie to your kids, man. Santa Claus and all. I respect my pops, he kept it real with me winter, summer, spring, and fall. That's why it's not a thing at all to put life in the flow for you. I'm a starving artist, far from starters, and I'm feeling like my time's overdue. But it's cool, I don't need fortune, I don't need fame. Long as I die and you know my name, then if I die tonight, I did my thing. I live through these flows and these pictures when I post, cause who knows? If I die tonight, I did my thing. I live like a G and I pray constantly. Watch me please. I might die tonight, I do my thing. I rip and run these streets and I deal with these freaks. If I die tonight, I did my thing. Next might be my turn, but you live and you learn. If I die tonight, I did my thing. If I die tonight, I did my thing. I might die tonight, I do my thing. Now I lay me down to sleep, I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I should die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. As I rip and run these streets, I pray the Lord my soul to keep. I gotta get it, make it shake, and do it for my daughter's sake. Hey.